Hello everyone, welcome back to another first look video. I've just tried Send Tensions and moved on to BeyondATC, and we're gonna try a return trip from Bergen to Oslo in the Airbus A319 from Phoenix. And as you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Bergen. We have traffic injection going with livery matching, so that's cool. Compass air cargo is usually parked over there. Not Norwegian, but Widerøe are there as well. And here we have some Norwegian. And yeah, Widerøe over there, so that's correct. Very nice scenery. Not many aircraft parked here right now, so this must be in one of the in-between periods. And we even have some helicopters for the North Sea operations. So this is live weather, very nice here in the afternoon. Let's jump into the flight deck. I've already done the loading, and let's quickly do the setup and get a clearance. So that's the basic setup done. Let's bring up BeyondATC and ask for a clearance. And we usually use ground frequency. There is a delivery frequency at Bergen, but I've never heard it being used. It's always ground on 121.905. So let's give that a try and see how BeyondATC handles that, or if it wants us to use delivery. I'm guessing it's gonna be the former. Flesland ground, Scandinavian 64 Delta, request clearance to Oslo Gardermoen.
Gardermoen ground, Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact tower when at runway hold point.
Okay, Gardermoen ground, that's on the other side of the country, so Flesland ground, Scandinavian 64 Delta, request clearance to Gardermoen.
Gardermoen ground, Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact tower when at runway hold point.
Okay, let's try delivery then. 23,405. Flesland delivery, Scandinavian 64 Delta, request clearance to Oslo Gardermoen.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Flesland tower delivery, expect runway 17 Golf 2 Charlie departure, initial climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 4402.
Golf 2 Charlie departure, squawk 4402, Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, read back correct. Contact ground 121.9 when ready for pushback or engine stop.
Ground 121.9 when ready, Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Okay, so I forgot to turn off the auto-respond. I tried that on a flight yesterday. But as you can see, the auto-respond is a pretty neat feature. At least as a single pilot, you can offload some of the workload to your first officer when you're flying. And I think that's actually a pretty neat solution. You can do that in say intentions as well. I'm gonna turn it off for now because I would like to try out the speech recognition for a non-native English speaker. So let's just keep it like this and have a look here. Departure 17, and we have the GoCab to Charlie departure. And it told us to squawk 4402. That's fine. And let's just do this quickly. 17, flaps 1. Yep, let's just send it over here as well. Very good. And I think, yeah, everything looks good. No de-ice, please. One thing to note in BeyondATC that I did notice on a test sector yesterday is that it says contact ground 121.9er. That's the old ground frequency. We've changed in the entirety of Norway to the higher separation, so it's 905. So that might be the reason why Gardermoen responded to me. But that also tells me that, well, first of all, it's using the wrong frequency. The next thing is that it doesn't have a range, it seems, to its, there's no limitations in range. So it's still using whatever is perhaps closest on that frequency, even though it's totally impossible to talk to Oslo from Bergen on the ground. Once you get up, it's actually possible because you have line of sight, but not like this. So we have all we need here. Let's just remove it. And we can... Forgot to turn on the APU, so let's do that. Yep, we'll dismiss that as soon as we have everything up and running. So in preparation for push.
Release parking brakes, please.
Let's talk to ground. Flesland ground, Scandinavian 6 for Delta, stand 19er, request push and start.
Scandinavian 6-4 Delta, flight along ground, pushback, and engine start approved. Face southwest.
Start and push approved, face southwest, Scandinavian 6-4 Delta. So I'm not gonna do the direction. I'm just gonna do what is the common practice here. It's a straight push. So you usually just straight push back here and then you turn on your own power. We were told not to start, even though there is no ground ice now. Just GSX doing its winter ops thing. It is cool to have aircraft there though with correct liveries. Let's see if we will get some background chatter as well.
parking brakes.
Our brakes set, and we have bleed, pumps, everything's on. Let's start the engines. And I'll turn the transponder on. Engine 2 is available. Let's start number 1 and release GSX.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Okay, goodbye to the ground crew. And let's ask for taxi. Scandinavian 64 Delta, request taxi.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, runway 17 taxi via Mike Golf, Yankee Alpha 2.
Runway 17 via Mike Golf Yankee Alpha 2, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Very good. Let's get going. One thing I'm happy about with that clearance is it's a very realistic clearance, giving us Mike instead of Romeo. That's the crossing taxiway right here. That's good. Say intentions included that, and I think, let me just double check. Yeah, Golf is straight ahead. I've tried to say intentions here, and it's put me on whiskey, the first one to the right here, and then all the way down. Of course, that's a valid thing to do as well, but it is actually more realistic in many ways to do Golf Yankee at Flesland. So maybe it's just random, but yeah, very good good taxi routing so far. And it's also giving me Alpha 2 instead of Alpha 1, so it's not always using full length. Not sure if there is anything it does to calculate or give you anything different. If it will give you Alpha 1 if you're a bigger aircraft and heavier, but if it does, that would be a pretty cool thing to include.
Nordic 625, gate 24, request pushback. Nordic 625, Flesland ground, pushback approved, face southwest. Pushback and engine start approved, face southwest, Nordic 625.
So that's cool. We have some chatter and we have a landing aircraft. Let's prepare the next frequency, 19. And this is, I know it's gonna fail on this again. It's 105, but it's gonna give me 19.1. Hey, very nice. Fellow Scandinavian Airbus. Taxiing like we stole the aircraft. So the GoCab departure is basically straight out, left turn, back around to a northerly heading, and then it's gonna turn us west. In reality, you would get a left turn almost immediately. So
Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact Flesland Tower 119.1 bye-bye.
Contact tower on 119.1 bye-bye, Scandinavian 64 Delta. So it gave us a handover before we reached our intersection. That's cool. Flesland Tower, Scandinavian 64 Delta, holding short Alpha 2, ready for departure.
Scandinavian 64 Delta Flesland Tower, wind calm, runway 17 cleared for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 17, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay, so it gave us...
Hello, Scandinavian 64 Delta cleared for takeoff, runway 17.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cleared for takeoff, runway 17, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay. So that's good. Everything looks good. We can trim it up a little bit. Lights are on. Let's go. Manflex 80 SRS runway auto thrust blue. $80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Nav and gear up checked.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact Flesland departure 126.1.
Contact departure on 126.1, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Autopilot engaged. 126.1. Again, this is an older frequency. Climb. Flesland departure, Scandinavian 64 Delta, passing 2,300 feet.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Flesland departure, identified, climb to flight level 170.
Climb to flight level 170, Scandinavian 64 Delta. 170 set, standard, passing 3. 170 is the usual departure altitude you get, because that's the transition over to Polaris control. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but if not, that's very cool. No other traffic, so I would expect an earlier left turn here. Beautiful scenery though. Okay, let's see if it will give us a direct. Scandinavian 64 Delta, request direct GoCab.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, roger, say fixed name.
Request direct GoCab, Golf Oscar Kilo Alpha Bravo.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, confirm direct to GoCab.
Affirm Scandinavian 64 Delta. So it has a little bit of a strange
Scandinavian
pronunciation.
64 Delta, roger, clear direct to GoCab.
Cleared direct GoCab, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Very cool. So I get the pronunciations, but it sounds like Golf Alpha when it's pronouncing it, so I guess that's just AI voice modeling.
Flesland departure, Nordic 625, 1,500 feet.
Nordic 625, Flesland departure, identified, climb to flight level 100.
Climb to flight level 100, Nordic 625.
So another feature they have, I'll bring it up here, is you have the option to just click something here, and let's say the next point in our flight plan is Ulvan. Let's see if we can get that.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, request direct to fix.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact Polaris Control 118.55.
Contact Polaris Control on 118.55, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay.
Negative, Polaris Control on 118.55.
Well, that's just what I said. Is my English that bad? Contact Polaris Control on 118.55, Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Aircraft calling for direct to, say call sign.
Well, let's do it with Polaris. Polaris Control, Scandinavian 64 Delta, leveling off at flight level 170.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Polaris Control, identified, climb to flight level 350.
Climb flight level 350, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay. So far, the climb has been as I expected out of Bergen with altitudes. Giving a direct automatically earlier on would be nice. Giving handover to Polaris before we're leveling off would also be nice. But yeah, it's okay. And it did faff around a bit with not understanding me. So yeah, perhaps if you're struggling...
Polaris Control, Nordic 625, climbing 7,000 feet for flight level 100 direct to BR531.
Nordic 625, Polaris Control, radar contact, continue climb to flight level 100.
Continue climb to flight level 100, Nordic 625.
Okay, so the background chatter there.
Scandinavian 842, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 842.
That climb.
Scandinavian 4676, Polaris control. Expect rip on 3 Lima, runway 01 left.
Expect rip on 3 Lima, runway 01 left, Scandinavian 4676.
Okay, so it's talking a lot now. That Nordic clearance. Polaris doesn't control below 170, so that's a bug.
Red nose 3228, contact Oslo approach 118.48. Contact Oslo approach 118.48, red nose 3228.
But it is giving us background chatter though.
Lima Kilo, descending via Unit 4 Lima, flight level 206.
Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo, Polaris control, expect deck at 2 Romeo, runway 24.
Expect deck at 2 Romeo, runway 24, Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo.
Lufthansa 1 Lima Kilo, Polaris control, radar contact.
So far I'm more impressed with BeyondATC's background chatter with traffic injection than with say intentions. It has some...
Polaris control, Scandinavian 4760, good afternoon, descending via Ripon 2 Lima, flight level 243.
Scandinavian 4760, Polaris control, radar contact.
This is pretty good, just saying the minimum things like you would expect. So it's the handover that for Nordic, climbing 7,000 to 100. That was not correct. Understanding my pronunciation of a waypoint, I can understand that might be a struggle for different non-native speakers.
4087, contact Oslo approach 118.48. Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 4087.
The voices and the speed of the talking has been very good. Say Intentions was very unstable in its volume. This is much more even, and it was also much more uneven in text speed. This is more natural in my opinion. Yeah, you can talk fast, but it shouldn't sound AI fast, where it's just jumbling everything.
Lufthansa 1 Lima Kilo, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, Lufthansa 1 Lima Kilo.
Kilo, Polaris control, expect trip on 3 Lima, runway 01 left.
Expect trip on 3 Lima, runway 01 left, KLM 70 Kilo.
Scandinavian Lima, runway 01 left.
Expect Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left for Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Polaris Control, Y062 Hotel, 1,700 feet.
Y062 Hotel, Polaris Control,
Very cool.
identified.
So we got our approach in good time, 01 left.
Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left.
Expect Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left, Spinica 4608.
Nordic 1 Kilo Delta, Polaris Control, expect Belga 3 Lima, runway 01 left. Expect Belga 3 Lima, runway 01 left, Nordic 1 Kilo Delta. Lufthansa 1 Lima Kilo, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Lufthansa 1 Lima Kilo.
Scandinavian 4676, Ripon 3 Lima, runway 01 left, report ready for descent.
Ripon 3 Lima, runway 01 left, ready for descent, Scandinavian 4676.
Scandinavian 4676, descend to flight level 140.
Descend to flight level 140, Scandinavian 4676.
So it seems like the climb today was a little bit optimistic
Polaris Control, Y03
from Simbrief's point of view.
Y03 Juliet, Polaris Control, identified.
So I'll just ask for the descent now so we can go straight down. Scandinavian 64 Delta, request descent.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left, report ready for descent.
Okay, so a little bug there, we already got that. Ready for descent, Scandinavian 64 Delta. So now it's just thinking.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left, report ready for descent.
Okay. Scandinavian 64 Delta, request descent. Seems like it's hanging for some reason here. Let's try the auto respond.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Polaris Control.
Okay. So it's giving us a different background noise now. Scandinavian 64 Delta. That's not good. So we need to go down. I'll just start it down. Then we'll handle this. First, I think I'm gonna just restart.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, descend to flight level 100.
Descend to flight level 100,
Okay.
Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Scandinavian H5 contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian
So that
85
was
Zulu.
a bit strange.
Spinica 4608, Adobe 3 Lima, runway 01 left,
And
report ready for descent.
it's
Adobe 3
trying
Lima, runway 01
to
left, ready
overspeed
for
me.
descent, Spinica 4608.
Spinica 4608,
Well, it was a little bit behind on the
descend to flight
path,
level
so
100.
Descend to flight level 100, Spinica 4608.
yes, we'll enter destination data.
Nordic 1 Kilo Delta, Belgu 3 Lima, runway 01 left,
Let's
report
see,
ready for
Oslo
descent.
reports.
Belgu 3
QNH.
Lima, runway 01 left. for descent.
1020.
Nordic 1 Kilo Delta, descend to flight level
minus
120. Descend to flight
three.
level 120, Nordic 1 Kilo Delta. Nordic 1349,
0,
Polaris control.
1, 0,
Expected LP3 Lima,
uh,
Lima.
runway 01 left.
Expected LP3 Lima, runway 01
And
left.
set up for the ILS, I think. And
Nordic
ILS
625,
has
contact Oslo
857.
approach 118.48.
Contact
minimum.
Oslo approach 118.48, Nordic 625.
Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo, Deca 2 Romeo,
Good, looks
runway
like
24,
we're
report ready for descent.
back on path.
runway 24, ready for descent. Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo.
Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo, descend to flight level 150.
Descent to flight level 150, Hydro 1 Kilo Romeo.
Seems like it's also using different kinds of call signs for aircraft, not just numbers. It's also doing the 1 Kilo Romeo and stuff like that. That's good, realistic. And then it's the next test. Will it give us the full approach? The full
Polaris control,
plan?
Redness 7 Bravo Papa, descending via unit 4 Lima, flight level 132.
It shouldn't, but
Redness
it
7
might.
Bravo Papa, Polaris control, identified.
Let's see here.
KLM70 Kilo, Repuntry Lima, runway 01 left, report ready for descent.
Repuntry Lima, runway 01 left, ready for descent. KLM 70 Kilo.
KLM70 Kilo, descend to flight level 140.
Let's
Descend to flight
turn
level
the
140,
auto-respond off again
KLM 70
and
Kilo.
let me try the next call by myself.
Nordic 1349, Adobe Tree Lima,
Let's
runway
do
01 left, report ready
arrival
for descent.
performance, 01 left.
Adobe Tree Lima, runway 01 left, ready for descent. Nordic 1349.
Nordic 1349, descend to flight level 100.
Descent to flight level 100. Nordic
Will
1349.
be
Redno 7 Bravo Papa, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
just see
Contact Oslo
about
approach 118.48, Redness 7 Bravo Papa.
56.3.
Nordic 1641,
Low is
contact
fine
Oslo
on
approach
the brakes.
118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Nordic 1641.
Scandinavian 4676, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, Scandinavian 4676.
So here I pulled up the traffic map, and okay, so this is the traffic around us. So we should be able to see all the blue ones. And here are the aircraft. So this is the range it's simulating. That's pretty impressive actually. Probably not all the aircraft that's would be here,
Scandinavian 4760, descend to flight
but
level
still
110.
that's pretty cool.
Descend to flight level 110, Scandinavian 4760.
Showing 80 aircraft, it
Polaris
says.
Control, Nordic 378. Good afternoon. Through flight level 213 for flight level 190.
Nordic 378, Polaris control, identified, climb to flight level 390.
Climb to flight level 390, Nordic 378.
Scandinavian 4676, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 4676.
Scandinavian 361, Polaris control, expect Belgium 3 Lima, runway 01 left.
Expect Buggy Tree Lima, runway 01 left, Scandinavian 361.
Wydro 3 Juliet, Polaris Control, expect bad up 2 November, runway 17.
Expect bad up 2 November, runway 17, Wydro 3 Juliet.
Scandinavian 4760, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, Scandinavian 4760.
So the 11848 it's giving everyone is the east side approach frequency. West side should be 120.455. But yeah, airports do combine frequencies quite often depending on traffic level. In the middle of the day I would expect them to split it, but and I think they actually use 120.455 as the main one. Is that's the one I've been using.
Control, Scandinavian A319, crossing flight level 161 for flight
That's
level
not a big deal.
190.
I think the background chatter and the ATC here is pretty cool. It really gives another dimension, and if you don't have auto respond on, you have to pay attention to what they're saying if they're calling you. It is nice to have this purple part showing what the latest clearance is. So if you're not paying 100% attention to what they're saying, you will see it flash when you get a new clearance. So we'll just leave it up and see how it behaves on the next one.
Expect ILS runway 13 with S mid-transition, Wydro 62 Hotel.
Wydro 3 Juliet, bad up 2 November, runway 17, report ready for descent.
Bad up 2 November, runway 17, ready for descent, Wydro 3 Juliet.
Wydro 3 Juliet, descend to flight level 280.
Descend to flight level 280, Wydro 3 Juliet.
Scandinavian 361, Belgian Tree Lima, runway 01 left, report ready for descent.
W Tree Lima, runway 01 left, ready for descent, Scandinavian 361.
Scandinavian 361, descend to flight level 120.
Descend to flight level 120, Scandinavian 361.
KLM70 kilo, descend to flight level 110.
Descend to flight level 110, KLM70 kilo.
Looking at the map here, I've enlarged it and put on dark mode. You can see on the trails what arrivals and departures the different aircraft are flying. And as you can see, they are giving people the full arrival. So instead of expecting anything more, I'll ask
Calibration 12, Polaris Control,
for something else.
expect Bravo 2 Tango, runway 36.
But we should also get a further descent
runway
here.
36, calibration 12.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach on 118.48, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Let's see if it understands me now. It did. Traffic even.
Scandinavian 4760, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020. Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020, Scandinavian 4760. Scandinavian 4760, cleared direct Valpo, cross Valpo at above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 01 left. Clear direct
He gets
Alpha, cross Alpha
direct.
about 5,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 01 left Scandinavian 4760.
Oslo approach, KLM 70 Kilo, good afternoon, flight level 111, we have hotel on board.
KLM 70 Kilo,
I should
Oslo
pick up
approach, good afternoon,
Vegas as well, but
QNH1020, expect ILS runway 01 left with developer
let's
transition.
cheat.
QNH1020, expect ILS runway 01 left with developer transition, KLM 70 Kilo.
Oslo approach, good afternoon, Scandinavian 64 Delta with hotel level 100.
Scandinavian 64 Delta Oslo approach, QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 01 left with the Valpo transition.
QNH 1020, expect ILS 01 left with Valpo transition, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay. But you didn't give us any lower. Let's just let this play out. Let's double check. We have Valpo, yep. Let's delete this. So right now there is a KLM somewhere over here coming in the opposite direction. But it should be 1,000 feet above us.
Red 07 Bravo Papa, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305.
Contact Tower 118.305, Red 07 Bravo Papa. Have a good afternoon.
Okay, yeah, there's the KLM with correct colors. But looking at the map now, we just passed the KLM. There's nothing else here. They should have given us Valpo direct. And we can also see these two aircraft are gonna get extremely close. Okay, so it's not gonna give us Valpo. Let's try. Scandinavian 64 Delta, request direct Valpo.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, I need you following your flight plan right now. Unable direct Valpo at this time.
Okay. Roger, Scandinavian 64 Delta. There's no reason for it, but let's not argue with ATC.
Oslo approach, another Kilo Delta. Good afternoon. Flight level 098 within the noise.
Nordic 1 Kilo Delta Oslo approach, QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 01 left with the Valpo transition.
QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 01 left with the Valpo transition. Nordic 1 Kilo Delta.
KLM 70 Kilo, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020.
Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020, KLM 70 Kilo.
KLM 70 Kilo, clear direct Valpo, cross Valpo at over 5,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 01 left.
Clear direct Valpo, cross Valpo at about 5,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 01 left, KLM 70 Kilo.
So that's the KLM that passed above us. So does it have a plan for us as well? They are slightly ahead of us on their turn inbound.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020.
Descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1020, Scandinavian 64 Delta. So 5,000 set, descend 10.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, clear direct Valpo, cross Valpo at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 01 left.
Cleared direct Valpo, cross Valpo at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS 01 left, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay, little strange, but okay.
Nordic 1641, contact Gardermoen Tower
Valpo
118.305.
shows us above.
Contact Tower
5, so that's
118.305, Nordic 1641.
See, 5,000 will be after Valpo. Let's have a quick look at Navigraph, if we can. Nope. Let's just bring it up here.
Scandinavian 4676, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305. Contact Tower 118.305, Scandinavian 4676. Have a good afternoon.
We're gonna go Valpo, mandatory 220, 4,000 and 3.5 at Sikla.
All aircraft be advised, information, India now current, QNH 1020.
So it said cleared ILS. That means we should be able to come down. Mr. Approach is 5,000 feet.
Scandinavian 4760, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305, have a good afternoon. Over to Tower 118.305, Scandinavian 4760, bye-bye.
Guessing there's icing here, so let's be preventative. Next is
Oslo approach,
4,000.
Spinnaker 4608, flight level 099, and we have India on board. Spinnaker 4608, Oslo approach, QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 01 left with the Valpo transition. QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 01 left with the Valpo transition, Spinnaker 4608.
Next is max 200 knots. Let's do flaps 1. We are cleared for the approach.
KLM 70 Kilo, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305, bye-bye. Contact Tower 118.305, KLM 70 Kilo.
And let's go 3005 for the final intercept. Log star.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305.
Contact tower on 118.305, Scandinavian 64 Delta. That's a good handover, just as we're intercepting. Gardermoen Tower, Scandinavian 64 Delta, established on the localizer for ILS 01 left. Flight slow captured.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, Gardermoen Tower, continue.
Continue, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Very good.
Scandinavian 4760, wind 015 at 10 runway 01 left, cleared to land.
Runway 01 left, cleared to land, Scandinavian 4760.
Let's get configured now. So there's two aircraft in front, Scandinavian and KLM. That's going to be looking at the map as well. It's very close between those aircraft. Not really possible. Okay.
KLM 70 kilo, go around. Fly runway centerline, maintain 3,500 feet.
On the go. Fly runway centerline, maintain 3,500 feet, KLM 70 kilo.
My bad.
KLM 70 kilo, contact Oslo approach 118.48.
Contact Oslo approach 118.48, KLM 70 kilo. Talk to you in a minute.
That's cool.
Scandinavian 4760, exit next available taxiway.
So
Exit
let's
next
get the
available
speed
taxiway,
down.
Scandinavian 4760.
It should never put the KLM in that position anyway, though. It's just bad ATC, but okay. It gives us a cool situation to cover, and it handled it correctly.
Scandinavian 4760, monitor ground 121.605.
Ground 121.605, Scandinavian 4760. Have a good afternoon.
So let's prepare the ground frequency. Landing checklist, no blue. We'll keep the engine anti-ice on in case we have a go around into this, yeah, mist fog thing. Autopilot disengage.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, wind 015 at 10 runway 01 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 01 left, Scandinavian 64 Delta. That's cool. I can see the map on my side screen here that 4760 is off the runway. Lovely winter landscape here at Gardermoen. Usually quite a lot of snow here and fog.
Minimum 100. $50, $40, $30, $20, retard, 5.
Looks like a good collection of different airlines here. Scandinavian, Korean, Norwegian.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available, Scandinavian 64 Delta. It's now saying expect gate 16 on my BeyondATC. So let's see what
Scandinavian
it does.
64 Delta, contact ground 121.605.
Contact ground on 121.605 Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay, let's stop here, contact them and do our cleanup. Start APU. Ground Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Gardermoen ground Scandinavian 64 Delta, go ahead.
Scandinavian 64 Delta vacated runway on Victor, request taxi to gate. It should have understood that.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, welcome to Gardermoen Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Okay, they should know this, especially since they say expect. I'll show you here. It says expect 16. Request taxi to gate 16, Scandinavian 64 Delta.
Scandinavian 64 Delta, gate 16 taxi via Alpha 5 Victor, Hotel Golf 1 Golf.
So a bit of a longer taxi via Alpha 5 Victor, Hotel Golf 1 Golf, Scandinavian 64 Delta. Okay, so that's straight ahead, cross Victor.
Corrin F542 Heavy, contact Gardermoen Tower 118.305.
Over to Tower 118.305, Corrin Air 542 Heavy.
So GSX seemed to give us automatic handling here. Hope they're... So it's Victor, straight ahead is Hotel. It's at Hotel Golf 1. Golf 1 first, over here will be Echo, then Golf 1 in the middle. Golf behind that, so 16 is somewhere along this main part of the older terminal. We're on Hotel, first is Echo, Golf 1 is next. This is Golf 1. And there we have GSX waiting for us. $14.60. Very good. Let's be nice to the ground crew. Don't shine the taxi light straight in their face. Sorry for the standard scenery here. I was hoping they moved from 2020 to 2024, but looks like I'll have to get a new Gardermoen. Yes, yes. Yes, please, deboard. Very good. Okay, so while GSX does its thing here, let's bring the sim and ATC down a bit. And yeah, quick recap of BeyondATC. So far, from the, I think, 2-3 flights I've done now, 3 flights I think. It's been behaving pretty good. As I've mentioned along the way, there's a few inconsistent frequencies. It has the tendency to keep you on the full approach, even though there is no need. That, yeah, it's a bit disappointing when you have a traffic map and it's just almost defaulting you around the entire approach fan. I wish they would have better logic to fix that. Having the amount of traffic and chatter that they are doing, right now it's 51 aircraft in the area. I saw over 80 at the most. That's pretty cool. Using different kind of numeric call signs, that's also cool. I like that they've split the map out of the default or out of the add-on, so you can have 2 different windows like this. There's also an in-game toolbar that I haven't installed, so I'll have a look at that as well. BeyondATC doesn't have a trial like, say, Intentions, but it's a one-time price for the base product. I'm using that. I don't have premium voices, and so far I'm happy with that. One thing I'll show you is the controller voice model. I'm now using the local no cost. It defaults to basic. That's an online model, but there has been problems with that model ever since last year, I think. And if you go to their Discord, their support Discord, there is some info there to change to local. I wish that was handled better on their FAQ on the website as well. And if it's been a problem for this long, I think it's half a year or something, and they say the devs are aware of it, why not change to local for the default when you install? Because I had a look at their support channel, and the most asked question was, why am I getting this voice error? So, okay, you can do different settings as well. Streamer mode, radio degradation, accents, you can prefer VA call signs. So lots of things to do here. More density on the traffic, depending on your computer. Easy keybinds. I have model matching because I did install it for this. That's handled by the fly-by-wire installer. So you can use the FSLTL base models and injector in BeyondATC. Very seamless, smooth. I installed it. It works. Done. GSX integration. I love that as well. And yeah, you can have different seasonal traffics. Where it's coming short against say Intentions is this is just an ATC. Say Intentions is trying to do a lot more. I only tried ATC and I didn't find it as impressive as BeyondATC at this moment. I think Say Intentions has the potential to perhaps get better, depending on how they're programming their AI models and how they will integrate cabin crew, ground crew, and all the other different systems that they're trying to simulate. So right now for ATC, the vote goes to BeyondATC for me. And Say Intentions if you want something more than just ATC, but expect more bugs as well from my very limited experience. If you would like me to test other software or go back to Say Intentions and do something differently, or maybe even try more of the systems, like the co-pilot, cabin crew, and stuff like that, just leave a comment below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed these very raw, quick first look videos. I want to do more like this and have a look at different scenery as well. So please just leave a comment below what you would like to see more of outside of just straight videos. That's been my main thing so far. So that's it for me today. Please like and subscribe if you find this channel interesting. Help me grow, that's much appreciated. And other than that, have a nice day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.